Yo, what is up, my friends? It is Hippo, and after only a year and a half of waiting, XOKITTY Season 2 is finally dropped, and to be honest, in this day and age, you've got to kind of appreciate that. At this point, I'm basically an XOKITTY channel, so you know I had to talk about Season 2. Obviously, there's going to be big spoilers for Season 2 and for Season 1 in this video, so if you haven't seen it yet, you've been warned. Make sure to like and subscribe. Other than that, let's jump right into it. So we left off Season 1 with Kitty failing her classes at KISS and getting kicked out of school and heading back home to Portland, Oregon. If you thought they were going to waste any time on fixing this, you were wrong, because within 30 seconds of the new season, they just do a voiceover explaining that Yuri called her mom to get Kitty back in, and that's that. We learn that Professor Lee is now Principal Lee. Okay, good job, dude. Kitty is locked in and ready to focus on schoolwork this year. No distractions. Oh no. No. She's living with Yuri and Juliana. Are you kidding me? So in Season 1, she's got to live with Day and Minho. And now she's got to live with Yuri and Juliana. I mean, what the heck is going on? Oh, and Stella. Stella is their new 4th roommate, and, you know, she's super duper sweet.
Or is she?
Low-key, for being annoyed at Kitty's drama last season, Q sure is trying to instigate.
It's kind of a shame to be swearing off love right after you discover you're bi. But can you really be over Yuri already?
We also come to learn that on the plane to Portland last season, Kitty rejected Minho. But he's gotten over it pretty quickly, and they're back to good terms after having that initial awkward conversation. Speaking of Minho, his dad is back in the picture after not really being around for most of Minho's life, and he's there because he's going to fund a new arts program for KISS. He's also going to be holding a really cool talent show, the winner of which will be getting a cash prize. This is announced at orientation, and you know what else is announced at orientation? Nightly curfew checks, and thank God, because last season, it felt like these kids had no supervision. I mean, they're in Korea, like a pretty conservative country socially, and they're just all willy-nilly out and about going into the city at midnight. Nobody cares. I don't know what was going on with that. It's a high school. They're kids, you know. Supervision is important. This never seems to be enforced, though, because Kitty actually meets a new love interest at this orientation. Her name is Pravina, and Pravina's a cool cat.
So there's this great DJ playing tonight at this teen queer club in Itaewon. Do you want to go?
Teen queer club in Itaewon? What?
You want to get mocktails? Come on.
Oh, well, they serve mocktails, so it's okay.
This is my super straight bestie, Day.
Day is super straight? Cancel him!
Every time I go to a gay bar, I get looks because I'm the only super straight guy there. Every Saturday night, it's bigotry against the straight community.
Just avoiding straight men.
You talk like AI.
Day does kind of talk like an AI. That's a good point. I actually thought when I watched Season 1 that Day was just getting voiced over by an English actor, because it always felt like his speech was like really robotic sounding, and not as an insult to the actor who plays Day, but it was crazy to learn that that's actually him speaking English. And mind you, he's a wonderful actor, really. I'm not insulting him. But yeah, no, he does low-key kind of talk like an AI. He doesn't sing like one, though, and he decides to enter into that talent competition that Minho's dad is holding.
Being close and being clever ain't like being true. Okay, next.
So, okay, as expected, this show, just like Season 1, has a lot of love connections and triangles and such going on, so I'm just going to try to break this down really simply for us. I need like a whiteboard or like an easel with like a pointer so I can like point at things. I don't know. Kitty is in love with Yuri, but gains interest in Pravina and gets feelings for Minho. Minho has feelings for Kitty and falls for Stella, who only has feelings for him.
Or does she?
Yuri is dating Juliana, but also low-key has feelings for Kitty, which blows into them kissing, Yuri cheating on Juliana. Day is still not over Kitty, but then dates Eunice. Q dates Jin, who used to bully Day and Minho in elementary school. Funny detail, but every time this gets brought up, Q acts as if like he was there to witness this bullying. And was he? Did Q go to elementary school with these people? I was under the impression that he came internationally for KISS. So he didn't like grow up in Korea with these people, right? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Let's talk a little bit more about Stella, Kitty's new super sweet angel of a roommate. At first, Minho is not too interested in her until this happens.
Throw it away for some loser who can't even sing.
Don't talk to him like that. Well, you're a crappy father. It's really a miracle you haven't been canceled. When I see someone being mistreated, I just explode.
But something is off about Stella. First of all, we learn that her real name is Esther and her parents are worried about her and begging her to not do something. Also, she's just so nice, like too nice. Like, why are you being so nice to me? This is kind of a red flag. She's planning something. Plotting something devious, if you ask me. And who cares? For now, we gotta go on vacation. Minho's dad invites Minho to come up to this vacation ski home, and he ends up letting Minho bring everyone that goes to kiss, basically. Okay, so in my XOKITTY trailer breakdown, I talk about this shot and how they're framing it as if they're looking at Peter Kavinsky, but there's no way they actually are. And wouldn't you know, what they're actually looking at is a sexy painting of Mr. Moon, aka Minho's dad. God, Mr. Moon is so fucking hot. God! Honestly, this cabin episode is super duper fun. A blizzard locks everyone in, so it just becomes kind of a bottle episode that fully utilizes the ensemble cast that this show has built up. But remember earlier when I mentioned that Yuri and Kitty kiss? Well, because of this, Kitty decides to write a letter sharing her feelings, and somehow this letter makes it to the lodge, even though Kitty didn't bring it. So at first, Eunice thinks that Day wrote this for her, and then Madison thinks that Minho wrote it for her, but we eventually find out that Kitty wrote it for Yuri. Juliana and Pravina are rightfully extremely upset, and it kind of blows up, and a lot of people being really mad, and the vacation is sort of ruined. But it's not all bad. Eunice and Day agree to go on a date, and Jin, Day, and Minho finally iron out that past bullying by having Jin agree that he's a stinky, farting booger boy.
I'm a large-pored, booger-eating, bus-farting loser.
Well, vacation's over, and Marius gets mentioned.
Marius was pretty high maintenance for a straight guy.
Marius, come out!
I thought Marius went back to Greece.
Get him!
Oi, Marius, wake up. Time for class.
I haven't even talked about the family stuff with Kitty or like the track stuff for Q and his little enemies to lover things with Jen. There's just so much that happens in this season. There is just so much.
Sir, they've increased the Wattpad drive to 3,000%. Initiating K-drama cliches.
Oh my god. All right, let's lock in. Kitty learns that her cousin and great aunt are fortune-telling matchmakers by trade. So Kitty is literally genetically predisposed to be a matchmaker, which is so fucking funny. Kitty's great aunt kicks Kitty and Minho out because there's some old family beef. Q loses a track contest to represent Kiss in a tournament, but then gets to run in it because Jin, who won, hurt his leg. Day's dad has some medical issues and falls ill. Peter Kavinsky finally shows up. Let's go!
So, you're gonna show me how you squirt or what?
Super cute detail I have to comment on is that Peter says to Kitty that Minho is obviously still in love with her because he calls her by her last name, Covey. Now, this actually mirrors Peter calling Lara Jean Covey. Cute. Also, Minho and Kitty have a hot tub scene together in the cabin episode that sort of mirrors LJ and Peter's hot tub scene because Minho gets in with full clothes and Lara Jean got in with full clothes. So if it's not extremely obvious to you at this point, Minho is the obvious endgame that they're setting up here. But how? He's dating Stella.
Sweet angel Stella.
Weirdly, right after that ski trip that they all took, Minho's dad starts getting canceled. A bunch of sensitive company documents, internal legal documents are getting leaked by an account called Moonleaks. Kitty starts to suspect that Stella is behind this, but Minho is not receptive to that at all and just accuses her of being jealous even after rejecting him. Let's take a break from relationship drama though and go back to family drama really quick. Kitty, you were supposed to be focusing on schoolwork. What the hell is going on? Lara Jean gave some letters to Peter to give to Kitty, and those letters kind of explain some more of the family beef and actually provide certain resolutions. Basically, Kitty's great aunt, the one that kicked her out, felt abandoned by her sister or Kitty's grandma. Kitty's uncle and her mom had worked out a situation where they were going to reunite, but Kitty's mom passed away before that and it got canceled. So this woman who for decades had thought that her sister, her family, had abandoned her, years of anger in a moment turn into regretful sorrow as she learns what was actually the case, and she starts bawling. She breaks down, and it's heartbreaking. It's so sad.
나 지금까지 살고 있었던 거야, 내가.
근데 그게 아니었잖아.
And that's not all in the sadness, because going back to relationship drama, the big ball is coming up, and Day is going with Eunice, Q is going with Jin, Minho is going with Stella, but Kitty is dateless. Stella shows up a bit late to the ball and, well... Minho realizes in a moment that Kitty is right, and this moment is crazy. There's like horror movie music that swells up as Minho comes to the realization, and then Stella just starts threatening him.
Beauty is supposed to come from within.
Beauty is supposed to come from within. Excuse me.
I wouldn't make a scene if I were you. Not with the dirt I've got.
Why is Stella kind of giving Lex Luthor? No, seriously, her plan is kind of like Lex Luthor's plan in Batman vs. Superman, with the amount of pure coincidence that it is completely reliant on. She needs Minho to date her, which there's no way to guarantee that. She gives Minho a clock that has like a recording device in it that is supposed to be a gift for his dad. But one, that relies on the clock getting placed in an area where it can actually record dirt, and that relies on there actually being conversations of more dirt to operate the next part of Stella's plan. And, oh yeah, remember that cabin? Well, Stella went through Minho's dad's office in that cabin and found like all those sensitive company documents that she leaked on Moon Leaks, and like, you know, I don't think generally it's normal that like records of NDAs and legal documents are kept at the vacation home of the CEO of a company. So Stella is also extremely lucky that she was able to find all that stuff. But whatever, it's like K-drama trope craziness, so you can't be too mad at it. Anyways, because of the drama with Moon Leaks, Minho's dad decides to up the contest from just being something within their school to an internationally streamed competition where the winner will not only get a cash prize, but also be signed as an idol to his company. And let me just say, this episode is sick. Stella sabotages people and gets Day's dance crew sick, so the whole gang comes together against a literal evil mastermind to save the school with a big dance. Principal Lee gets to play guitar. I mean, come on. Yes, dude, yes! Fuck, I love Principal Lee, dude. My God. Only one thing. Scene is too short. They perform like half of a K-pop song. I wanted an MV. I wanted a dance practice behind the scenes. I mean, come on. XOKITTY's YouTube channel. Get on that. Stella's plan is foiled. Minho gets validation that he sorely needed from his family. Day's dad ends up okay, and they're not going to be struggling for money anymore because of a class action lawsuit against Yuri's dad's company, who, remember, Day's dad works for. Q stays happy with Jin, which is nice to see after it ended so badly with Florian last season. And Kitty finally reunites her grandma and great aunt, and we get to see Margot. And the season ends with Kitty confirmed to be coming back to Kiss next year, which would imply that we're getting a season 3, and she sets off on an entire summer-long tour with Minho and his family. Oh, and Yuri ends up completely alone and broke. So for anyone who is rooting for the Yuri endgame, not the Minho endgame, the show basically said, fuck you, also we're taking away all of her money, so... like, damn, okay. I will say, the Yuri stuff felt extremely sidelined in the second half of the season. Like, they knew they wanted Minho to be the endgame. They did not try to hide that at all. I think compared to last season, the show does lose, like, a little bit of its magic. It just feels more dull, almost. Like, the drama is all the same, even more so, maybe. But I think the season 1 had, like, so much romanticization of living in Korea and being at Kiss. Whereas I feel like this season loses a little bit of that. Like, there's less beautiful cinematography, less B-roll of Seoul. And I don't know, it was, like, pretty noticeable to me, honestly. Also, the show is just more bloated somehow. Because season 1 was ridiculously bloated, but it still felt like we spent enough time with each conflict, whereas this season, it really feels like they just have to blow through things to kind of get where they wanted to get, and we just didn't spend enough time with certain plot points. We have less episodes than season 1 and season 2 as well, which I think was a mistake. I don't know why they lowered the episode count. Also, Kitty's grade and school performance is never brought up, which seems weird because that was like the big tragedy of last season, and then this season starts with her like vowing to do better about that, and we literally never see that. We never even see them in any class except for Mr. Moon's art classes, which also seems weird. Like, why aren't we seeing Alex Finnerty teach them something, you know, from Melbourne, Australia? He has a thing or two to say. We barely see him, mind you, and really the only character that he meaningfully interacts with is Yuri, which also was kind of weird. I don't know why they lowered his role so much this season. But yeah, it's like, I guess Kitty did well in her schoolwork because she got accepted to come back to KISS next year and got her scholarship extended. So like, yay, but like, you know, it would have been cool to see that, you know, in any meaningful way. They don't even like mention it. You know, Professor Lee isn't even like, hey, good job on getting your grades up. Yeah, the scholarship is extended. Like, there's nothing for that. It's weird. Overall, I still love the show, but season 2 I just didn't think was as good as season 1. Hopefully, the season 3 that we're definitely going to be getting can recapture the magic of KISS, but for now, I think I'm going to be giving season 2 a 6.5 out of 10, and for reference, I would have given season 1 an 8 out of 10 if I had rated it in my video. Mind you, if you haven't seen my season 1 video, go check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I couldn't even talk about everything that happened this season. I mean, it was just so much. If you haven't seen my season 1 video or my trailer breakdown for this, definitely check them out. I actually predicted a lot of things correctly for this season, like I predicted that Mr. Moon would be Minho's dad, and I predicted that Day would date Eunice, and I was so right, so that's cool. Other than that, make sure to like and subscribe. Hippo out. I have to attend the big ball.